You know, for years I've asked myself, what if it doesn't work? And then I just started asking myself a different question. What if it does work? That question alone has changed more than I've ever expected. You know, fear asks us one question. You know, or actually it asks us multiple questions. What if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I lose? Fear has 1,000 reasons to stay where we're at. And I don't think that's good. Because a lot of times, a lot of us have went ahead and stepped over that fear and done it anyway. Regardless if we failed, regardless if we looked stupid, regardless if it scared the hell out of us. But I see it more and more every day with just people I encounter of being stuck in the system. You know, and and to step outside of it to a point to like where I am, it takes courage. Have I failed in a couple of things? Yeah, I failed in a couple of things, especially here recently. But you know what? I step back, I take a look at it, I attack the problem at the root cause. I either get over it, get around it, or get through it and handle it the right way. Because sometimes we get so focused on making a change that we hit it head on and we bounce off. We're on our butt and we're like, what happened? Do I just go back to where it was because I can't get through this? No. You step back, you look at it, and you move around. You move around it. You attack it at the root cause. You make sure that you can get to that change that you want. I mean, a lot of us, we're happy where we are. And I say that loosely because are you truly happy? I mean, yeah, if you're living simply and you've made the changes and you're not letting everyday life, the problems, the questions affect you, then yeah, you're probably living what you want to live. But the rest of us, I mean, you got to think about it. They took our trees, our fruit trees, our fruit bushes, our vegetables, and they sell them to us now. Ha, here's one. They took the water and they bottle it and they sell it back to us. I mean, even the water in your house isn't free because you got a water bill. Then they said, the ground that you're standing on, we're going to take that too, but we're going to let you make payments to it. But it's still going to be ours in the end. It doesn't matter if you have a family estate set up. It doesn't matter if you leave it in a will to your children. At some point, that stuff is going to be given back to the state or even the federal government. You know, courage only needs one reason. And that reason has to be, do you want to better your life? And for myself, you know, I started making, you know, and I've talked about this in my other videos, I started talking about making small decisions. Small changes. Like, restarting this dead YouTube channel. I think I've had this channel now for, God, I don't know, since probably around 2013 or 2014. And I posted things to it here and there. I mean, you can go back and watch all those old videos, from EDC to dog training to overlanding to this now. And now only has this community begun to grow. Started another small challenge, being out here, walking every other day or every couple days, talking to you guys. Yeah, does it feel weird walking around talking to myself into a camera? Well, hell yeah, it does. Sorry, he's mowing the grass. Looks like they need to, though. I can tell you one of the things that I haven't done, and one of the small changes that I haven't made, and that is I'm still working on making the calls to mend over broken relationships. I don't want to say I haven't done that. I'll say that I haven't made all of them yet, just because I don't know what to say. I don't know how that person will take that call, or even if they will take it when they see my name pop up. But we've all got, you know, small changes we can make that could improve our lives. You know, simple things like you haven't taken a vacation in 2 or 3 years and you want to take a trip, I don't know, out to see Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Take the trip. Put in for the vacation, or, you know, just say, this is what I'm going to do. Get your personal effects in order and go take the trip. Nobody says you can't. I bet you'll feel better. And while you're taking that trip, you know, talk to people. We've all gotten away, and I know I've said this before, we've all gotten away from taking or talking to people face to face. It takes me back to that song Disturbed. You know, 1,000 people talking without saying a word. We've got to get away from that. You know, I've talked about us all becoming zombies, consistently staring at our phones. I mean, walking around and watching people with their heads down in their phone is just crazy. But coming out here on this trail, yeah, people pass by. They say, hey, how you doing? 3 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. If I was out here walking on the trail, I wouldn't have said a word. But I feel better doing stuff like that now. And all I can do is convey how I feel, so that you guys can at least attempt it or try it. You know, most of our lives, we can't change them in a day, but we can start to change them one decision after the other. Especially if we're focused on and we have the drive to make a change in our life, to make our life better, to get out of this stupid system that's been built around us to keep us all in line. You know, and I really appreciate a lot of you guys. Well, I don't want to say a lot, I'll say all of you guys, because we've built this community and I want to continue to build this community. And if you're still sitting in the back of the room, hey, grab a chair, pull it up to the campfire, hit that subscribe button, and let's chat. because we're all waiting on you. We know you're there. You don't have to comment right away. You can just sit and watch and listen. That's still good. But you help out the community. How you doing? We've got a lot more road ahead. So come on, pull up a chair. You know, everything, just like our community gets bigger when you say yes. You know, new opportunities, new friendships, new places to see, new experiences, and the big one, personal growth. I didn't realize when I started making these changes that the weight that had come off my shoulders would allow more personal growth for myself at the age of 54. I didn't realize that until now. I've got so many opportunities in front of me. Will I take them all? I don't know. Will I take the risk? I don't know, because now I'm mapping out what the rest of my life is going to look like. So if I don't think it's going to be good for the road ahead of me, I think it's going to be passed up. But if I don't pass it up, I'll grab it and put it down in front of me and see what kind of interesting rewards it has. Friendships. I try to talk to people every day, whether I'm in the grocery store or whether I'm just out here walking. I try to stay active so that I can talk to those people. And a lot of times, you never know what you could do for a person just by saying, hey, good morning, or hey, how are you today? That in itself could lift a person completely up. You know, I don't want to see people get down on themselves. I want to help lift people up. Again, that's why we've got the community. If I can be some type of motivation for somebody that has a similar background like mine, then that's great. You know, with all that stuff, the personal growth and the opportunities and making new friends, the experiences that I've had and that I'm gonna have, you know, the world didn't change around me. Not at all. I changed. And now suddenly everything looks different. I mean, I can't express, and I know I've said this probably in multiple videos, I can't express the little changes I've made, how that's made me feel. You've got the courage. You want to do it. So what's keeping you from doing it? Hey, how are you? We all don't have it figured out. Because if we had it figured out, we'd all be living our best lives. And you guys know that. You guys absolutely know that. We are, I don't know how to put it. We are a difficult creature to understand. The human is. However, we control our own destiny. We control our own future. I think a lot of us are still waiting to feel ready. When is that going to be? Because I don't think ready ever really comes around, because you just got to make that decision. I kind of look at it as like, you know, you get in your car and you put the key in the ignition, or you hit the button and the car starts right up. The car doesn't say, well, when I'm ready, I'll start. I know you push the button or turn the key, but I'm going to wait a second before I'm ready. No. And I think we're a lot of the same way. We just have to make the decision to do it. Sometimes you got to take that step out. You know, I've talked about it before in other videos. Take the step out of the comfort zone. Take that step to be ready to, you know, better your life. It's rewarding. I can tell you that. And figure it out on the way, because that's what I've done. I've figured everything out on the way. Ran up or saw a problem coming and going, how am I going to figure this out? And I sat down. Even if I have to write it down, I write it down. But I don't let it get me down, because I'm focused on my end major goal, and that's retiring next year. So I have to have it figured out. I have to make sure that all the obstacles and all the things that are in place to keep me from retiring are gonna be out of the way. Now, are there gonna be bigger obstacles? More than likely there's gonna be bigger obstacles. Are there gonna be bigger problems? Probably, more than likely. But as long as I have prepared for them, then they should be easy to get over, get around, or get through. You know, I want the best for everybody in this group. You know, maybe there's something that you've been thinking about. A dream, a move, a conversation, even a new chapter of your life. Maybe the question isn't, what if it doesn't work? But maybe the question is, what if it does work? Hey, how you doing, bud? So if you just ask yourself, quit asking yourself, well, what if it doesn't work? I'm going to fail. I'm going to look stupid. You know, people are going to laugh. Well, nobody says you have to tell people about the move or the thing that you want to do to change your life. Even the little thing. You don't have to tell anybody about it. I didn't tell anybody but you all what I was doing. And I've failed at a few things. But like I said, I've, you know, got them, I've attacked them at the root cause. But I'll leave you guys with this question. If you've sat there for years going, well, I don't want to fail, I don't want to take the risk because I'm just afraid that I'm going to get laughed at, or I'm afraid that I'm going to fail, or people are going to walk away from me. You're going to lose people anyway when you change your life. So my question is, and you can post your answer down in the comments, why not take the risk? We'll talk again soon, guys.